god of the underworld and ruler of 1/3 of the universe, alongside his brothers Poseidon and Zeus. Hades was so feared that during sacrifices to him, mortals dare not look. Although all men would eventually make it their final home, for Hades, the underworld was a lonely place. You see, no one was quick to make friends with the Lord of Darkness, and so Hades' life was one without companionship, one without love. One day, while Hades was watching events transpire on Earth, by chance, he laid eyes upon the most beautiful creature he'd ever seen, a woman, Persephone. Persephone was the daughter of the goddess Demeter, master of the harvest and the weather itself. Demeter believed no man was good enough for her daughter's hand, and so she did her best to hide her away from all but the eyes of Helios. But Hades, too, could see beyond Demeter's shroud, and so he vowed that Persephone would be his. Hades set forth a plan and kidnapped Persephone, bringing her down to the underworld. Demeter spent many moons searching far and wide for her daughter, eventually driving her to despair. One day, Hades saw the cruelty of his attempts to win Persephone's affections this way, and wished for Persephone to see her mother once again. And so he told her she was free to go. But to his surprise, she stayed, for this act of compassion showed Persephone a spark of love in him, one that she would nurture into a flame. Over time, Persephone saw there was far more to Hades than anyone knew, and Hades saw that Persephone was the one person who could see him for who he truly was. And so, the soft flame of their love grew into a raging fire, a fire the earth desperately needed, as Demeter's distress from the loss of her daughter descended the earth into chaos. Frigid cold and raging blizzards plagued the land. Hades and Persephone knew they could not go on, for Hades could not stand for man to suffer this way, and Persephone could not stand the sight of her mother's pain. A deal was struck. Persephone would spend half her days with her love. During this time, the world would grow cold. Demeter's sadness being without her daughter would cause the rivers and lakes to ice, the crops to die, and the leaves on the trees to fall. But every spring, Persephone would return to her mother, and in Demeter's joy the crops would grow lush and bountiful. The ice and frost would melt away, and the weather would warm with the flame of the love for her daughter. And thus the seasons were born.